No one remembers exactly when the recordings first appeared online. Some say it was early 2018, buried deep in a forgotten forum about maritime anomalies. Others claim they surfaced years earlier, quietly passed between a small group of researchers who refused to share them publicly. But everyone agrees on one thing: once you hear them, you don't forget. It started with a man named Elliot Vance. He wasn't famous. Not a scientist, not a journalist. Just a marine technician who worked long rotations on a research vessel called the Ardent Blue. The ship spent most of its time in the North Atlantic, mapping the ocean floor and maintaining underwater sensor equipment. Elliot's job was simple: monitor signals, log anomalies, and make sure everything kept running. Which is exactly why he noticed something no one else did. Because when your job is to listen to silence, you learn when something isn't silent. On March 12th, at 3:41 a.m., Elliot logged an unusual signal. At first glance, it looked like interference. A low-frequency pattern, repeating every few seconds. The system flagged it automatically, but nothing about it triggered an alert. Still, something felt off. Instead of ignoring it, Elliot recorded the signal and isolated it. He played it back. Static. Just static. But underneath, there was something else. A rhythm. Not mechanical. Not random. Structured. Over the next 3 nights, the signal returned. Always at the same time. Always the same pattern. Elliot began to suspect it wasn't interference at all. So he did something he wasn't supposed to do. He ran it through an audio filter designed for voice detection. And that's when everything changed. The system didn't just detect sound. It detected speech. At first, Elliot thought it was a glitch. The ocean is full of strange noises. Whale calls, shifting tectonic plates, distant ship engines echoing through water in ways that distort everything. But the software was clear. There were phonetic patterns, language like structures, something trying to form words. Elliot didn't tell anyone right away. Instead, he kept recording, night after night. Each time, the signal became clearer, longer, more complex, until finally, on March 18th, said something. He replayed it at least 20 times before writing it down. 3 words. Slow, broken, but unmistakable. Are you there? Elliot reported it the next morning. At first, his supervisor laughed. Then Elliot played the recording, and the room went quiet. Within hours, the data was sent to a mainland analysis team. By the end of the week, a small group of specialists arrived on the ship. Linguists, signal analysts, even a behavioral psychologist. That's when Elliot realized this wasn't just unusual. It was important. They set up a controlled monitoring system. Every night, at 3:41 a.m., the team gathered. And every night, the signal came back. At first, it repeated the same phrase. Are you there? Over and over, like something waiting for an answer. On the 4th night, they decided to respond. It wasn't a simple decision. There were arguments, concerns, protocol discussions. But curiosity won. It always does. They transmitted a signal back. Simple, clear. Yes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ocean answered. The signal changed instantly. Faster, stronger, almost excited. The next message came through less distorted. Still slow, still unnatural, but clearer. How long? No one knew how to respond. How long what? How long had they been there? How long had they been listening? Or how long had it? They sent back a cautious reply. Who is this? There was a pause, longer than before, almost a full minute. Then, forgot. That single word changed everything. Over the next several days, the communication continued. Slow, careful, like teaching something how to speak. The team realized something disturbing. It didn't understand basic concepts. Not location, not identity, not even time. But it was learning. Fast. Too fast. By the second week, it was forming complete sentences. I hear you differently now. You are not like the others. You stay. The phrase "the others" raised concerns. When asked to clarify, it responded, "They were noise." No one knew what that meant. Then came the question that ended the experiment. On March 29th, at exactly 3:41 a.m., the signal changed again. No distortion, no delay, just a clear, steady transmission. "Why did you wake me?" No one had an answer. The room fell silent. No one touched the controls. No one spoke. And then, before anyone could respond, continued, "I was not supposed to hear you." That was the moment everything shifted. The lead analyst ordered an immediate shutdown. Transmitters off. Recording systems disabled. No further contact. But something unexpected happened. The signal didn't stop. Even with all equipment offline, the sound continued. Not through speakers. Not through the system. Through the hull. A low vibration. Deep. Resonating through the entire ship. Then came the final message. Not digital. Not processed. No wreckage. No debris. No signal. Just empty ocean. The official report called it a catastrophic structural failure. An accident. Unexplained but natural. But that's not why people still talk about it. They talk about what came after. Because months later, the recordings surfaced. Not all of them. Just fragments. Clips. Pieces of conversations. And in those recordings, there's something most people don't notice. First, the voice sounds wrong. Distorted. Inhuman. But if you listen long enough, it starts to change. It becomes clearer, closer, more familiar, like it's learning how to sound human. Or worse, like it already knows how. And then there's one final recording. The last file recovered. No one knows who "we" is. But ever since that recording appeared, strange things have been reported. Deep-sea sensors picking up structured signals. Submarines detecting unexplained acoustic patterns. Even civilian radio operators claiming to hear faint voices on frequencies that should be empty. Always the same tone. Always the same clarity. And sometimes, if the conditions are just right, they say the signal answers back. Not with static. Not with distortion. But with a voice that sounds exactly like yours. Asking a simple question. Are you there?